Do you want to make aggro players cry? Are you tired of getting gem razored to death or killed by overfed Kazandu mammoths? Well, this is the deck for you. We have card advantage. We've got board wipes. We have doom foretold. We have creature removal. We have all the good stuff, all the things you're going to need to excel in this meta as you drown in value and relish in the taste of aggro players' tears. So stay tuned as I take out Esper Doom onto the ladder and crush some aggro players. Big Mitz MTG here, breaking down some Esper Doom today, talking about some updates we've made since the last video. And the main updates to the main board, to be clear, we've added a couple of Shark Typhoons. We have added a couple of Elspeth Nightmare. We've removed a Pelakka Predation. We have removed a Treacherous Blessing. And we have removed some of the targeted removal, some of the Heartless Acts that previously were in the main board. Why did we do this, you may ask? Because of the prevalence of Dimir Rogues. They can't respond to Shark Typhoon. They can't counter it, right? We can just kind of make a flyer that can maybe jump one of their threats, one of their Thieves Guild Enforcers, or maybe one of the Brazen Borrowers if they've committed to the board. So I made those changes there. Elspeth Nightmare I think is also going to be great against a lot of the aggro, which I'm going to assume is on the way with the banning of Omnath. So the video, or the games you're going to be seeing today are from the night before the ban. So they are pre-ban, but we didn't actually see any Omnath in the games. So maybe people are already planning what is going to be next. You'll see, I'm sure. Regardless, though, we also changed the sideboard up. We removed the Archons of the Sun. We also removed one of the Shadow of the Skies in place of a couple more Shark Typhoons. We added in another Elspeth Nightmare as well. And I'm sure you can see here, these Drannith Magistrates are probably going to be removed as well now that the Lucky Clover is gone, and that hopefully we won't have adventurers running so rampant over the field. But with that said, that is the deck. That's what's in the board right now, what's in the main deck. Let us try it out and see how it does. All right, getting another game here with Esper Doom Foretold. We'll be on the play. And we'll have to mulligan this hand because it only has one land. This is better. Guess we can send back a Plains. Start out with the Temple of Deceit, try to find another land. We'll put that on the bottom. Okay, so our opponent playing Turn Timber, Serpentine Wood. Interesting. We'll play the Bright Climb as a white source, and we'll pass the turn. Okay, so they'll play another forest. Pass the turn. We'll play an Omen of the Sea. Opponent seems to have something they can do at instant speed. But I guess we'll put this on bottom. We just need to ensure we just keep hitting lands, otherwise it's going to be a rough game. Okay, so we hit Doom Foretold. Here I think we play this as another black source. I do have Shadow of the Sky in this deck. I don't necessarily have any double black cards, so the proper choice, even though it feels bad, is to do that. Play that as a white source, and then I guess we'll just play Confounding Conundrum, try to ensure we hit that next land drop. Okay, well there we go. A little lopsided towards Plains, but hey. And yeah, then I guess I should have been more vigilant about sequencing. Okay, interesting. My opponent plays a Wildborn Preserver here. They seem to be on some kind of a mono green flash deck. Okay, they play a Kazandu Mammoth. Okay, so we play Plains here. I think we Elspeth's Nightmare, next turn we Doom Foretold. And it's also, this Wildborn can gain counters and stuff, right? So it's important to at least get to use Elspeth Nightmare as, when we have the chance. And next turn I get to look at their hand, see what they have, be aware of any primal mites or anything like that. Okay, guys, they do have another mammoth here. So 2 mammoths bearing down on me. Not fun. But we'll at least know what we're working with. And this is actually kind of ideal, huh? Okay, so we'll get rid of the Great Henge. Say no to that. We'll shadow this guy because they don't even get anything out of it. Since they're mammoths, they're both 3/3s. And in that sense, I guess I am glad I have the white to play that. Had I not drawn the second white source, this would have been more awkward. Okay, but they love Strict Beast. It looks like they're going to play it out. Sure. Which gives us the perfect opportunity to play Doom Foretold, leaving them with only 1 permanent. And they're going to have to sacrifice their Love Struck, and then if they want to play anything else, they're just going to have to sacrifice that, because I've got a bunch of junky enchantments just lingering around at the moment. So we'll play Doom Foretold, pass the turn, and there we go. Opponent has to sacrifice a Love Struck Beast. We even got our Dance of the Manse now too, so that's going to be good. Kind of get back some of these enchantments that have been thrown to our graveyard. And what's also good too is that our opponent only has 2 cards in hand, and they're a green deck, so we're not going to have much card draw. Neither of the cards in hand is very good, but they do play the Swarm Shambler, so they're going to have to sacrifice that in just a moment. Here we'll crack the Fable Passage to grab an island. Okay, we'll sacrifice the Confounding Conundrum, draw a card, play the Bright Climb as a black source, pass the turn. Opponent has to sacrifice their Swarm Shambler. Okay, they play Love Struck Beast. We still have Mystical Dispute up actually to counter it as well. So we'll do that, because why not? So we'll sacrifice our Omen of the Sea on my turn, and then they'll have to pitch their Primal Might. Alright, sack that Omen of the Sea, draw a card, get another Omen of the Sea. I guess we'll just play it now. Okay, so we get some good stuff. And we'll pass the turn. So our opponent pitches their Primal Might, draws a new card, new unknown mystery card. See what it is. Swarm Shambler. We can just counter that, I guess. Okay, so we get another land. Go to combat, swing 2. Into the little block. Short. Empty board is fine by me. Play a Temple of Enlightenment. Put a Fabled Passage. Actually, how many enchantments are in my graveyard right now? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I can get some more actually, so I could get to 6. So I think we'll actually keep that on top, because now I'll be able to reanimate all my lovely enchantments. Okay, opponent just plays a forest. We'll Omen of the Sun. And play the Fabled Passage. Right now we're still at 4. I guess we may as well just swing here. Sack both for scrying and Dance of the Manse on the following turn. Plus this way, if my opponent plays a 2-drop, we get, or a 2-power creature, not necessarily a 2-drop, we'll be good to go. Yeah, so they're trying to make a bunch of mana, it looks like. Maybe they're going to play a Turn Timber? Nope, just a huge Stone Coil Serpent. Curious why they didn't make it larger than that. Unclear. Get another Dance of the Manse. We'll crack the Omen of the Sun. Put the other Omen of the Sun on bottom. So we'll draw my second Dance of the Manse. We'll crack the Fable Passage. We'll grab a Swamp. Dance of the Manse for 6. And 1, I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we have 6, so we may as well pick all of them. Get all those back, draw my cards, make my creatures, make my opponent see doom in front of them, and we'll get those to the bottom, and they'll concede, understandably so. All right, so we know what we're playing. We know what we're up against. I think that Bloodchief's Thirst is going to be good here. Mystical Dispute, not so much. So we'll put in the Bloodchief's Thirst. Put in another Elspeth Nightmare. That's 3 cards changed. Heartless Axe seems kind of risky in that they have a lot of counter creatures. Their Swarm Shambler, they've got their Stonecoil Serpents. They probably have Yorvo in there somewhere. They also had Wildborn Preserver. So lots of ways to put counters on things or creatures that just get counters. I don't know that there's anything else I would want to play. Heliod's Intervention could be good if they get a Great Henge down. Or, if they have some serpents, I can just, pay 4 and blow up 2 serpents, which seems pretty good as well. But I think we'll try this for now. Mazemind Tome is something else I considered bringing in, but not sure that that's going to be, worthwhile in time, because I just suspect if they're in the play, I could easily get run over, if they just curve out nicely. So try this for now, just bringing in some of those Bloodchief's Thirst, taking out the Mystical Disputes. See if that is enough to carry forward the momentum here. Okay. Seems decent enough. I think we'll keep 7 here. It's going to be tricky picking the lands, I think. But we definitely want blue, because one of these we're probably going to be doing T2. Either Confounding Conundrum or the Omen of the Sea. And, okay, so we get a Temple of Enlightenment. So we're going to get white either way. So it's tough, because I'm eyeing that Shadow of the Sky, and I want to ensure that I'm going to be able to play it. I think the best and the safest plan right now is to play Bright Climb as a white source. This way, next turn we can Temple of Enlightenment, try to find an additional land. And Drawn to the Lock isn't going to be doing much anyway right now, because my opponent has an empty graveyard, and I don't really have any ways at the moment to fill their graveyard. No removal spells, nothing like that. So we'll just make that a white source. Okay, so they play in Wildborn Preserver, flash it in. Sure. Next turn I might want to just Birth of Meletus, get another land. Okay, opponent plays Scoos. And are they going to pay the 1 to give it a counter? They do. Okay, and they swing for 3. Alright, so we do hit the Doom Foretold. So I guess first we'll play Birth of Meletus, grab a Plains, and then we'll play Temple of Enlightenment, trying to find a black source. That would be ideal. Find another Yorion. Well, nice. I really need a black source to enable Doom Foretold and Drawn to the Lock. Though next turn I do have Shadow of the Sky, so it's not like this is, abysmal. We are still in a pretty good spot, even without black. We'll see if my opponent does anything in terms of playing into it or not, or trying to hold up their threats. But okay, they played Garrick's Harbinger. Okay, and they put another counter, so I'm going to be on to 11. They're going to draw a card, but I'm going to remove 2 of their creatures, and they also have a backup Shadow of the Sky, so we'll just shatter. Still a good advantage here for me. Still slows the game down. Does fill their graveyard as well, so I can actually start using Drawn to the Lock now, assuming I ever get a black source, which hopefully isn't a too generous an assumption. Okay, opponent plays another Garrick's Harbinger. Okay, we'll gain some life. I think we'll play an island here and we'll pass the turn. Because next turn, during their turn rather, we get to Omen of the Sun. Make a chump blocker. And then also play Omen of the Sea and hope to find a black source. And if we do, we get to do some fun things by playing Doom Foretold. Okay, so we'll play that Omen of the Sea. Scry 2. Both on bottom, I guess. Okay, so still no black source. So I could just Yori in here. It's possible they have Primal Might in hand. They just fight Yorian, but I think just drawing 3 cards, or 2 cards, making a bunch of tokens is probably good enough right now. It also helps even out the advantage of Shadow the Sky. Those are kind of cantrips, because I would also have a black source. I think with bottom Dance the Manseer, we really just need to play some of the black cards in my hand. Just, removal, Doom Foretold. It's like, there's a reason this deck is called Esper Doom, right? Just gotta get that out on the board. Okay, so opponent plays another land. They swing their Mammoth. We'll send out a chump. Okay. They play a Scavenging Ooze. They have 3 cards in their graveyard, 3 creatures. Okay, but still nothing, huh? I guess we'll go to combat. Swing 4 in the air. Shadow the Sky. Try to find a swamp or another pathway. Now my opponent will be down to 3 cards. Okay, so they're targeting my graveyard, getting out the enchantment. Okay, and then they're going to pillage some of their own creatures, get rid of those, gain some life while they're at it. Okay, we do get the Temple of Deceit though, so we will play that. Scry 1. Bright Climb pathway. I guess we'll keep it so we get a second black source, so that next turn we can Doom Foretold and Drown in the Lock and kill anything 5 or less, and also make them sack a permanent. Okay, so they play Kazandu Mammoth and a forest and a Garrick's Harbinger. So now I'm glad I kept that black source on top, the additional black source. So we'll play the pathway as a black source. We will Drown in the Lock, targeting the Mammoth. Then we'll play Doom Foretold, so they have to sacrifice their Harbinger, hopefully leaving them with nothing. Then we'll end the turn. And they concede. So there we go. That is how you bully mono green in Standard right now with Esper Doom. Alright, so we'll be on the play here. This looks okay. We'll keep 7. Start out with a Fable Passage, grab an island, pass the turn. Next turn we can probably just Birth of Meletus, grab a Plains. Okay, my opponent plays a Needle Verge pathway, so they might be on Omnath. Oh no, I messed it up. No! Okay, so they're not on Omnath. They're in some kind of a aggro deck, clearly. Doom Foretold or Elspeth's Nightmare. I think we bottom the Nightmare, but take the second Doom Foretold. Alright, so we'll now play up Birth of Meletus, ensure we can play Doom Foretold on curve, and grab a basic plains, pass the turn. Okay, opponent plays a mountain. They play Arcana of Emeria. That is a little annoying. But we do get a defender token. Play the plains. I guess it's only non-basic lands enter tapped, so that is fine by me. Play the Doom Foretold. Right on time because we'll be able to sacrifice the Birth of Meletus. Next turn. Lose out on some life gain, but I think it'll be worthwhile. See what my opponent sacrifices here. Okay, they sacrifice their Hollow Blade. That's good, because now they're going to be much more vulnerable to Shadow the Sky. Okay, so they play a Fabled Passage, they crack it. Grab another plains. They've got 2 of red and 2 white. Trying to think of any haste threats that could be scary. Okay, they play a second Archon. Swing for 2. Okay, we'll sacrifice the Birth of Meletus. Draw a card. I guess we'll just play a Confounding Conundrum. Try to draw another land. Okay, opponent has to sacrifice an Archon. They do. Play a 5th land, so they could Embercleave me here, but they don't. Outlaws Merriment. We'll sacrifice the Confounding Conundrum. Alright, so we do get another land here. I guess we'll play this as a blue source. A lot of blue stuff. Could be nice double spell. But I guess, yeah, it is non-basic, so it enters tapped. I think we just play the second Doom Foretold here. And now they have to sacrifice both of their permanents. Okay, but they still get to make a token. And we'll put a stop on my upkeep so I can flash in an Omen of the Sea. So we don't have to sacrifice any Doom Foretolds here. They get a Warrior through 1 Trample Haste from their Merriment. They play Lava Brink Adventurer, or Venturer, not Adventurer, excuse me. This isn't, Eldraine again, no adventures. So they pick even, meaning my wall can't block them. So that'll be okay. But they're kind of playing right into Doom Foretold here. Especially since they wouldn't even be able to sacrifice their non-token if they wanted to. But okay, so they Spikefield Hazard to get rid of my wall. Okay, so my wall dies. Okay, so the triggers go in the stack. Play Omen of the Sea. Auto pay the mana. Alright. Another Doom Foretold doesn't sound terrible. Omen of the Sea doesn't sound terrible either. So we'll grab both. Sacrifice the other Omen of the Sea. Do you want to play Confounding Conundrum? I think we're fine without. You can just flash in the Omen of the Sun, take down their warrior if they attack with it. Okay, and so they pitch in a Maria's Call. Interesting. Okay, so they play Embercleave. Sure. Not going to block it, but I'll at least gain some life before they swing in. So we'll have to sacrifice their Embercleave. Sacrifice the Omen of the Sun. Okay, we'll play a Fabled Passage. We will swing for 4. Play a Confounding Conundrum. And another one, I guess. End the turn. Okay, so they sacrifice their Embercleave. Play a Legion Angel, so they're probably going to be able to grab another one here. I have to imagine. Putting Legion Angel in your constructed deck, I would hope you have some in your sideboard. Okay, so my turn. We won't crack the Fabled Passage. We'll leave it for now. We will sacrifice a Confounding Conundrum. We will play Clearwater Pathway as a black source. Play another Doom Foretold. And they concede game 1. Okay, sure. Okay, so we know they are playing kind of a Boros aggro deck with Embercleave. So Heartless Act probably isn't good. Elspeth's Nightmare might not be too great either. Trying to think what other creatures they played. They played the Legion Angel. They played the Hallowblade. They played anything else? Played Outlaw's Merriment. I remember that much. I think the Mystical Disputes though should come out. We can, I guess, put in Heliod's Intervention. Maybe snipe their Merriment. Something like that. I guess we can put in Agonizing Remorse as well. We'll put in Amaze Mind Tome. Take out the Elspeth's Nightmare in favor of Heartless Act and Bloodchief's Thirst, I guess. Stuff that is less restrictive in what it can remove. Okay, so opponent goes first, of course, but this was keepable. Okay, opponent starts with the Needle Verge Pathway. They play Stone Coil. All right, so here we can play Plains, I guess. Opponent plays Seasoned Hallowblade, sure. So we do have plenty of board wipes. I think here we play the Pathway. And play the Maze Mind Tome. The extra life could be important here. They do seem like they're after a pretty fast start. Already have 4 power on the board. And just ensuring that I can gain some life. And okay, here I am kind of punished for not doing like an Agonizing Remorse or something. Scry 1. Put that on bottom. Don't need any more lands right now. Alright, so play Groomclimb Pathway here. I guess this Confounding Conundrum. Pass the turn. So I'm going to be at, what, 7 next turn, unless they have a pump spell. And there could be even less. They have another land like an Embercleave. So that wouldn't be great. Opponent plays Shatter Skull tapped. Okay, they swing for 6. Yep, I go to 7. Play Bone Crusher. Scry 1, I guess. Put on bottom. Okay. I'm still gonna be dead though if I try to do that. So I guess I have to Shadow the Sky here. Opponent draws a card, but they do have to discard a card to preserve their Seasoned Hallowblade. They pitch a Haktos. They draw a card. So they play a land. They play Outlaw's Merriment. Swing 5. Sure. Go to 2. But we do have this Hylia's Intervention here, which will be enough to get rid of the enchantments that my opponent is holding over me. Doom Foretold does seem good enough, so I think we'll take it. Yep, we'll destroy them now so that they don't get to get any tokens off of Outlaw's Merriment and potentially swing in and kill me. So if my opponent has a Stomp in hand, I'm dead. If they have an Embercleave in hand, I'm also dead. But yeah, that's just going to be the way it works, I guess. Okay, well, that'll be it, huh? Because it's 5 damage. No, actually, it's not. Whew, this is a tight one, I think. I think we're going to get there. I'm going to wipe the board, Shadow the Sky. Just put the scry counter on now. Gain some life. Go to 6, be at 1 after this. Means that the hope they don't get a any kind of threat. But okay, so my opponent snags the plains with Robber the Rich. Okay, we'll Shadow the Sky, wiping their board. And okay, so they pump their Kargan Intimidator. So that's a good play. They play Lava Brink Venturer, picking even. Okay, so play Temple of Enlightenment, giving a Fabled Passage on top. And then play Doom Foretold. Pass the turn. Opponent has to sacrifice their Venturer. Okay, they play a Temple of Triumph. Scry 1 on top. Scary. Sacrifice the Confounding Conundrum. Play a Fabled Passage. Play a Confounding Conundrum. Draw a card. Pass the turn. My opponent should have to discard the card. Okay, so it was in a Maria's Call. Play Outlaw's Merriment. I guess we'll just let that resolve, huh? Okay, so we'll play Murkwater Pathway, play Doom Foretold, swing for 2. There we go. And I'll say thanks, opponent. Hit him with a meme. Okay, so we'll hold full control here because sometimes Arena gets weird when it comes to letting you do triggers. I don't want to, not be able to survive a stomp or something, but have the Arena, steal it from me, steal the ability to play the Omen of the Sun. Okay, so they play a Giant Killer. That's fine. They'll have to sacrifice it. Play Omen of the Sun. Sacrificing Confounding Conundrum. Drawing a card. Play an island. We will swing for 2. Get in for 2. Pass the turn. Opponent has to sacrifice Giant Killer. They draw a card. Play a Maul of the Skyclaves. +2/+2. First strike and flying. So that is not great. I think we counter that, so that I guarantee myself drawing a card, making another night token. Second Omen. Okay, and we get another fresh Omen. Okay, so we get in for 2. Draw a card. Get another Omen. We are crawling our way back from the brink of death, being at 1 life previously. Opponent hits a land. Okay, we play Omen of the Sun. Omen of the Sea. Sea and Sun. Surf and Turf. We'll just grab the Dance of the Mance, I guess. Grab both. Go to my turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 right now. But I think if I swing out, if I bring back the Doom Foretolds, they're going to be dead, I think, on the draw, because I don't have any permanents to sacrifice. So we'll just grab all of these lovely enchantments here. We'll autopay, and this should be it. And my opponent concedes. So there we go. Esper Doom, good against creature decks. There you have it. Alright, I'll be able to play this time. This looks keepable enough. Can go Plains into Swamp, into Birth of Meletus, and play Treacherous Blessing in a future turn. Okay, opponent starts with a Swarm Shambler, so probably the same mono green deck I saw earlier. Shouldn't be too much trouble, especially considering we do have Doom Foretold here. We're going to be making a wall very shortly. Opponent swings for 1, they get in for 1. Play another Swarm Shambler. Do they have another land or not? They do, okay, so they play a Symbiosis tapped. So if I play the Swamp now and play the Treacherous Blessing, I'd have to discard a card, right? So I have 7 cards in hand now. I'll be losing 2. I'll be up to 8. So I think we'll just play the Plains, pass the turn. Kind of hide the fact that we are a Doom Foretold deck for the moment. We also Shadow the Sky up too, so getting them to come into the board further would be ideal, especially if it's a creature that's less than 3 power toughness. But Omen of the Sun is also just great here, because I can just like 2-for-1 them, basically. I don't even lose my enchantment. So they just they just lose. Okay, and then they play the Yorvo. Okay, so we gain 2 life. We play a Doom Foretold. Next turn we can play Treacherous Blessing, refill the hand, and just continue the streak of bullying green decks here. Okay, so they play their Mammoth as a land, so they really want something on 4. Maybe they have a Questing Beast. Or... yeah, I'm not sure what else they could have. We'll play the Treacherous Plus. Like next turn we can Yorion and blink it. Okay, we even get a Omen of the Sea. So we'll just crack for an island now, just so we don't get scammed by the triggers. Okay, opponent pitches a Primal Might. Now they have 4 cards in the graveyard, so if they are intent upon playing a 4-drop, I can already counter it. I guess I can't actually. Drown in the Loch. Which is a shame. But what can you do? Play an Omen of the Sea. Lose a life, but get to draw another card. Set things up for a big Yorion. Here... looks okay. So we'll get a Birth of Meletus, keep the land drops coming. Opponent only has 2 cards left in their hand. So looking at their graveyard, they have 2 creatures they can grab. I think here we're going to make the Bright Climb pathway. I guess we'll make this pathway a black source. It seems like black and blue are the 2 types of mana I need most frequently, so we'll try to keep those up. I already have 2 for my Shadow of the Sky. In the sake, I maybe don't need the Treacherous Blessing. Yeah, I probably should put some like Seagate Restoration in there, because like in this scenario, right, I just have so much mana that it's almost like I don't even need it all. Or I have so many cards in my hand that I can't even, play some of these, do some of these tricks like the Yorion blinking to the maximum effect because I don't have to discard, right? At the same point, like, this might not be the best plays right now because I am kind of still lording over my opponents, still in a commanding position, so I don't really need to be drawing an additional 4 cards at the moment, especially when I still have 6. So my opponent does some Scoo's work over there before it gets removed, but that is fine. Then we'll just go swing in for 2. And rather than playing the Birth of Meletus, we'll just hold that Mystical Dispute. If they play anything really scary, like a Planeswalker or something I'm not exactly equipped to deal with right now, we'll just be fine. And is this only spells? Okay, so it is only spells. Opponent does Stone Coil for 3. I mean, next turn I can just Shadow the Sky and keep holding up Mystical Dispute, which is what I'm going to do. We will check the auto tap. It is fine, and take 1. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Love Strike Beast, and we'll counter that. Okay, so we get a Temple of Enlightenment. Keep an Omen on top. Let's play out a Yorion here. Draw 4 more cards. So now we just kind of did a win condition, right? So Dance of the Manse. Okay, my opponent concedes. I guess we don't need a win condition. This mint card advantage is intimidating enough on its own, I suppose. But time for sideboarding. So we're taking out the Mystical Disputes. We are putting in a Maze Mind Tome. I found it is good against aggro, for sure. We could put in another Elspeth's Nightmare, or we could put in Heliod's Intervention. Try to hit those Stonecoil Serpents. Though I'm not sure I want to be paying 3 mana just to kill 1. If I could pay 4 mana to kill 2, that would be nice. But I'm not sure it's going to be worth it. This looks okay. Maybe on the play we put in another Elspeth's Nightmare. So maybe try to grab some of those scoozes if they play them on T2. Grab them before they can even do anything. And I don't think I actually played any Elspeth's Nightmare at the moment in game 1, so I don't think they would have any awareness to be wary of that. So hopefully they will play into it, provided that we get to game 3 and we have to change our sideboard plan. But we do have an Elspeth's Nightmare here, so this hand looks actually great. You know, we start with the Temple of Enlightenment, do some scrying, have Omen of the Sea, then we can either play a removal spell, play a little greedier, just draw 3 cards, so we'll keep those 7. My opponent kept as well. They bolt in Turn Timber, play Heart's Desire to get a 1/1 human. Sure, that is a acceptable T1 play. Shark Typhoon could be okay. It's a blocker at least. Opponent swings for 1, they get in for 1. Play a tap land, they play a Mammoth, play another Heart's Desire. Sure, so we will play a Swamp, we'll just play a Confounding Conundrum here. Draw a card, try to search for a board wipe, or that would work as well. Quick means with which to handle those 1/1s. Okay, we'll play a Plains. So I have a few choices. I can either Treacherous Blessing, draw 3 to try to find a Shadow of the Sky, in which case I probably won't commit anymore to the board. I have Omen of the Sea. I think we just pass the turn here. Because if they attack with 1/1s, we have Omen of the Sun to do some chump blocking, but they don't do any kind of defensive attack strategy, so we'll take care of their 1/1s. Make it so their Love-Struck Beasts can't attack anymore. Also have an Elspeth's Nightmare to handle any future 1/1s that they would have. And so this looks okay. Now the choice of Pathways or Fabled Passage. I guess I'll play the Pathway as a blue source. Because there are 2 things I could do on blue, but there's only 1 thing I could do per turn right now on black, so we'll keep it like this. Maybe make a chump blocker if we need to, if they somehow get another 1/1, because I'd rather not go to 4. Okay. So they play Stonecoil Serpent. Play another one. Here I think we just try to find a board wipe. Go to 4, which isn't fun. Opponent plays another Mammoth tapped. I think we'll just cycle the Shark Typhoon for 0. Drown in the Lock. That actually is going to be good enough, I think. So we will need to play the Pathway as a black source. We'll need to Elspeth's Nightmare on the 1 Stonecoil. Pass the turn. Hold full control here. That's going to be lethal. Yeah, so, okay. We tried. So I did take out the other copy of Shadow of the Sky here, which may have been a mistake, at least from the sideboard, I should clarify. Okay, so we'll put in a Heartless Act. I guess we'll try like this. Alright, so be in the play. It looks okay. Start off them scrying. Play Confounding Conundrum T2. We do have a Doom Foretold this time though, so that should help even the odds a bit. It would be great if I could find a turn 3 play, but I think another Doom Foretold is worth keeping on top. Opponent doesn't have a turn 1 play, so that's going to be actually really crucial here. It's going to help me stay alive a bit longer, give them less to sacrifice the Doom Foretolds. Okay, they play Stone Coil for 2. Pass the turn. We will play a Plains, Bloodchief's Thirst, remove any possible Gem Razor targets, pass the turn. If they play a creature next turn, we can just play Doom Foretold. Okay, Mammoth, that is good for me. Okay, we'll play the Pathway as a blue source, play the Doom Foretold. Passing that turn, they will sacrifice their Kazandu Mammoth. Now they're kind of dissuaded from playing another creature because they're going to have to sacrifice it unless I can play 2 creatures, in which case I do have 2 Doom Foretolds. But they're going to have to discard a card. Okay, now I have 3 Doom Foretolds. Okay, so we will play Murkwater as a black source. Because I have this Dance of the Manse, I'm just going to play out the other Doom Foretold. Because I'm going to be able to easily get it back. Making them have to pitch 2 cards is pretty good. Plus I gain some life, draw some cards of my own. So, and I got another Dance of the Manse. Yeah, this is the match you want to be playing with this deck. You really want to be playing against aggro decks, and it's just brutal. All right, so we played the Fable Passage. Play the Dance, or the Doom Foretold. Say no attacks. Crack the land now. Grab another Plains, I suppose. End the turn. You sacrifice their Garrick. So they're thinking on what to do. So they play Stonecoil for 1. Interesting. Gem Razor, yep. Saw that one coming. So they're going to hit my Doom Foretold. Okay, they don't swing with their beasts, so we play out our Omen of the Sun. Lands looks good, actually. So we'll take some. So I have 4 enchantments in my bin. May as well just play the Dance of the Manse. Grab 4. Drawing a card. Make my opponent sacrifice all their permanents remaining, and then they have to discard 2 cards, so they get rid of their hand as well. And I can just do it again next turn and actually make all these creatures. And I get another Dance of the Manse, so we are drowning in riches at this point. They had a Primal Might and a Squeeze in hand. Okay, they play a Turn Timber tapped. Turn Timber tapped. Isn't that a tongue twister? Okay, we'll play a Clearwater Shrine. We will swing for 8. Lethal with the Shark token. Looks good. me get there. Again, taking down mono green.